What's up, folks? It's your boy Coach Ty back at you with another one, and for today's simplified we have the 45-degree back extension. I'm here with my good friend Elda, personal trainer here in the Cayman Islands. We're going to take you through the form, variations, and also some things not to do on this exercise. So here we go. All right, so first thing you need to do with this exercise is make sure this pad is in the proper place. You don't want it too high because then we're gonna put way more tension on the lower back than we want to. And primarily with this exercise, we're trying to train the hamstrings and the glutes. So at the bottom of the exercise, you're looking for what feels like a stretch in your hamstrings. At the top of the exercise, you're looking for what feels like a contraction in your glutes. So we've already adjusted this machine for Elda. So I'm gonna have her go ahead and get into place. Press your heels into this lip right here. And again, make sure the pad is just below your hip crease there. And then we're gonna start flexing at the hips. And again, look for a stretch in your hamstrings and then come all the way to about here. All right, let's go back down, that's 1. Let's go to about 10. Again, you want to feel a contraction in your glutes when you're performing this exercise. So imagine you're pressing your quads into this pad forward as you shift your hips forward and flex the glutes. We don't want to come up too high and hyperextend the spine. After you come up to about this point here, you've got all the tension you're going to get on your glutes, and all the tension after that point is going to go onto your lower back. So that's the point you want to stop at. We've got a lot of variation. Actually, how many is that so far? 9. Let's do one more. Last one. And 10. Resting. Okay? Okay, so we've got several options for variations on this machine here. We've got dumbbells that we can use. So you just hold a dumbbell in front of your chest, and then what the nice thing about doing a dumbbell is you've got progressive overload now. So as the weeks pass on, you can add another 5 pounds, add more reps, another 5 pounds, reps, another 5 pounds. You always want to aim for progressive overload. Another thing you can do to add some progressive overload to this is using a barbell. Now this is pretty advanced, and if you don't have a lot of experience with doing this, I wouldn't err towards a barbell for quite some time, at least until you're able to handle a 35 or 40 pound dumbbell with no problem. Now the challenge that the barbell presents is the barbell will likely start to hit up against this. So it's gonna limit your range of motion. But limiting your range of motion, I would say, is not the worst thing on this exercise because we don't want to go up too high anyway. So it will kind of prevent you from hyperextending your spine. So it's a give and take, pro and con, but I think ultimately a good thing. You can also use a plate, which I don't prefer because they can, you know, over time as you start getting heavier and heavier, you can't hold a bigger and bigger plate. And then once you've gotten to a 45 pound plate, you can't just add more plates on at that point. So I don't particularly like the plate variation, although again, it is an option in the early days. And then you've got my favorite variation, which is using a band. So you'll loop the band underneath the machine and then loop each end of the band in the bends of your elbows. Now the perfect thing about this is that it's got a great resistance curve. As you go down on the exercise, the band gets less and less taut, so you've got less and less tension. And when you're all the way down here, that's when your lower back is in its most vulnerable position, we'll say. So it's nice that we've got less tension at the bottom. And then as you rise up, where we want to have the most tension at, because that's where we're going to contract the glutes, the band gets more and more taut, and so you get more and more tension. So less tension, more tension. Lower back, glutes. So the resistance curve matches the strength curve of your hips much better than any of these other variations. So the one I would recommend over all the others is the band. All right, folks, that's it for the back extension. Thank you for listening and watching. As always, Elda's Instagram will be in the description below. Please go follow her. Let me know what you want to hear from me next. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Watch another video. I just learned that's pretty much the same thing as subscribing. So go watch another video. They'll be in the corners here in a second, and I will see you with the next one. Deuces.